Hello and welcome to DIY EV Mods. This is going to be another video about the Craftstrom solar kit, solar components. Let me first start out by saying that I'm not a licensed electrician. Um, I'm just a guy on YouTube experimenting and trying to show what happens with my experiments and hopefully give you some entertainment. Um, so I wouldn't necessarily do anything that I do. Uh, Moving on, today I'm going to talk about the workaround um, with with the solar. Since this system that Craftsman makes is designed to be on grid. If you don't have grid power, you're not going to get power from the solar panels. But there is a way to work around that, and that's what I'm going to try to show you today. So normally, when the grid is going, you've got your hot leg 1, your hot leg 2, your neutral coming uh, from the grid. So the way Craftstrom designed their kit, you've got leg 1 and leg 2, these clamps that go around your two different phases or your two legs, and that's what reads the power. So when the power goes out, you don't have any power coming through your phases or through your legs from the grid. So then your solar system shuts down um, so that it doesn't backfeed into the system. And even with their panel or their monitor, it's supposed to make it so that you can't backfeed. It will still shut the system down, but there is a workaround to that. And so basically, so this house has this is I believe it's a 50 amp. And this would be for like RVs or something to plug into. But you could also use it for an emergency situation. Um, that is connected to this 50 amp breaker right here to supply power to like an RV or something. But in a grid down situation, it's possible that you could use this breaker to backfeed into the house. Again, it's not the safest way to do it. It's very dangerous if you don't do it properly. In a proper system, this breaker would be up here where these 1, 2, 3, 4 are here, and you'd have a cover over all of this, which in a previous video I explained that when I bought this house, mine didn't have this cover, and they make what's called a lockout. So what it would do is it would make it so that when this was on, this is your main breaker is on, the lockout prevents you from turning this on to backfeed the system. And then when in the grid down situation, you would shut this off and then slide the interlock over, and that would allow you to switch this breaker on. And then that way you know that you can't backfeed. There's no possible way to backfeed into the grid. Now knowing this, if you are so inclined, you could turn your main breaker off before you even touch this breaker in a grid down situation. So you would just turn this breaker off, turn all your other breakers off, turn your backfeed breaker on, which again in the correct situation would be up here with your lockout. So you would have a generator, gas or diesel or propane, whatever you happen to have, or if you have some sort of a solar generator, solar inverter generator. There's another name for them on the market, but I don't remember what it is right now. But basically, it's like a generator, but instead of running off of gas or diesel or propane, it runs off of solar power. Solar charge it, and it's got batteries and an inverter in it, and then you could plug it into here. So I have a generator that I use. It's a propane generator, like 7,000 watt propane generator. So it produces it has a 30 amp outlet on it. So I made an adapter to go from 30 amps to this 50 amp. So yeah, you hook up your generator or your solar inverter or whatever you have to power the house, and you would hook that into here, and then it would go into this breaker right here. So if you notice on this breaker, you've got two legs, just like you've got two legs here. So your workaround, your power goes out and you don't have, so your entire solar system shuts down. So you've got all this money and all these panels and inverters on your roof that are doing absolutely nothing because your power is down. So then what you do is, obviously the way that this is connected, you've got your phase 1, phase 2, which then also has your phase 1 and phase 2 into your breakers here. So you'd want to make sure that you know which one of these is phase 1 and phase 2. But once you test and figure that out, then you just move these power clips, these consumption clips, because these measure what's coming in or what's being used by the house, and you just move these down to these, knowing which one is phase 1, which one is phase 2. Now I'm just pointing. I have not tested to see which one of these is phase 1 and phase 2. I might have, but I have it written down, so I don't remember off the top of my head which one is which. But in any case, power goes out. You turn your main breaker off so that you know that you're not backfeeding into the grid. You move your consumption clips, whatever they call them, over to these legs here. You start up your generator, your solar inverter, whatever you have, and you turn this on. And then I believe most microinverters take a few minutes to recognize that there's power and start producing. And then with the loads that you need to run off of your generator and your solar, you just turn those on. Obviously you don't want to overwork whatever device that you're using, so you probably wouldn't be able to use anything large. Like in my case, I've got my air handler, which is a 60 amp. I've got water heater. You might not be able to use that with your with anything else because it is quite a large one. If you only have 30 amps coming in, you're trying to run your water heater and your refrigerator, it's gonna overload whatever system you're using. Oh yeah, and then here there's a 50 amp here. This is my my range. so I wouldn't be able to use my range, but I have like an induction cooktop that I could use, so I could still cook food and boil water and whatnot. But in any case, that just kind of gives you an idea of a workaround. Grid down situation, power goes out, you've got all the solar that's not doing anything, and you want to make sure that you can do something with it. Take these clips, move them to the corresponding leg 1, leg 2 down here on your back feed grid, on your back feed um, breaker, and there you go. Then you're using solar and also whatever generator, solar inverter that you have set up and connected to your back feed breaker. I know there's a lot of stumbling in that video, and I do apologize. I'm trying to work at getting better with my speaking. But in any case, if you like this video, please press the like and subscribe button. Share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and may God be with you till we meet again.